World Comedy Festival. Put your hands together for Madison Thomas!
Oh shit. Yeah, man, give it up for yourselves. Give it up for yourselves. Paying for parking. I just want you guys to know that if you parked next door, they do tow. All right, if you have a yellow Jeep, Florida plates, your shit's down the street. All right. Actually, it's a beautiful crowd here. Really nice looking people. Give it up for yourselves. Yeah, woo, woo. Especially you, I appreciate your fit. Stand up for everybody so they can see your fit, bro. Stand up. No, stand, give it up for his fit. I don't know, you look like a stereotypical Latin gangster in the 90s. Right? Like you should be saying no more locked doors on a Friday after next or some shit. Oh man, I kind of missed the early stages of the pandemic. Right? Like not when people were dying or when white people were showing their ass. But like I missed the cheap gas prices, you know what I mean? Like I just spent $56 filling my tank from empty. During the pandemic, I could fill my tank from empty with 2 shiny nickels. You feel what I'm saying? Like what's going on, Joe? Like in these desperate times, I'm thinking about doing something that no decent, loving parent would want you to do. Right? I'm about to become a Republican. Okay. And not just like any old Republican, like I'm gonna become a grifter, like one of the ones on TV. Right? Like I used to wonder how people like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson could just blatantly lie to the American people. And now I'm wondering how I can do it. And I'm like almost there, cause like I voted for Trump, right? Matter of fact, I did it more than once. There was this old guy standing 15 feet outside of my polling place with a sign that said, "Vote for Trump, get $20. I left my polling place $100 richer that day. So like when Republicans are talking about election fraud, I'm like, yo, like chill out, man. Like you're making it hot, you know? Like I thought this is what we wanted to do, right? So I'm actually from New Orleans, Louisiana. I know I don't have like an accent for it. Thank you, appreciate it. And it's crazy because living in like Michigan is so different, right? And the thing that threw me off the most was legal weed, you know? Like back home you can't even say weed. People who say weed also say narcotics, you know what I mean? Like we know who's using the terminology, right? Like if you wanted to buy weed, you had to find some guy standing outside of a fucking gas station and he'll tell you he has some sticky icky or some good. And you can't do shit with that, bro. Out here you guys have apps, right? Billboards and shit. Like a big sign that says get weed over here. You know what I mean? You guys even have more respectable names for your weed. Like Alaskan Thunderfuck. Like buying weed, I had a lot of knocks, you know what I mean? The first time, like when I first moved, I went to a barber shop. I found the youngest barber working. And I walked up to him and I said, "Excuse me, young man, do you know where I could get some herbal essence?" And he's like, "Herbal essence?" And I'm like, "Some herbal essence." And so he shouts back to some guy by the shampoo bar and he's like, "Hey, we got any soap back there?" And I'm like, no, I'm looking for that sticky icky, that good. And he's like, "Oh, you mean weed?" And right then and there, I knew he was a cop. Man, you're not gonna fool me, officer. Another crazy thing about Michigan is like really different. It's like the amount of gay people here, like particularly here in Ferndale, like in this one like cluster, right? Like back home, you can be gay if you're so inclined, but you can't really show it like that. You know what I mean? Like certain places will tell you like to keep the PDA to a minimum because it's like a Christian establishment, and it's just some bar on Bourbon Street. You know what I mean? Like I see, like there's someone peeing in the corner here. Like what Christian values are we upholding? I don't know. But like dating, I really had some knocks. Like it was really like weird to get used to it, right? Like I wasn't used to going to like the gay bar scene and doing shit like that. So I had like a lot of woes. Like I would approach women, I'd be like very awkward, right? Like one time I went to the club with my friends and I saw this girl, she was pretty cute, and she was sitting by herself for about 2 minutes. So I asked my friends, I'm like, okay, like what should I say to her? And they're like, just go up to her and be like, hey, I'm Madison, I'm from New Orleans. Where are you from? Are you alone? Right? So I walk up to this girl, and without taking a single breath, I go, hi, I'm Madison, I'm from New Orleans. Where are you from? Are you alone? Right? Like I used to approach women like an amateur serial killer. Right? Hi, are you alone? Did you tell anyone where you were gonna be this evening? Right? Are you sharing your location with anyone? Right? Watch out for them. They laugh too hard at that. Oh man, but it's crazy. On my way here, I was talking to my dad, and he was telling me about how the gay agenda is like taking over cable, right? How like he can't flip a channel without seeing some gay shit on his television, and he's very like angry about that. You know what I mean? Now I don't know if you guys can tell by looking at me, but I don't have cable. You know? So I'm not seeing any of the gay shit he's seeing, right? But I wish I did. Like I wish I could see some of the shit and assess it for myself. You know? I kind of wish we had the Don't Say Gay bill when I was in school. I probably would have been bullied less for it, you know? Right? Like I had to fight gay allegations from 6th to 12th grade. Do you know how hard it is to fight the truth for that long? Right? Like beating the gay allegations felt like a glove not fitting, you know? Get it? It's an O.J. Simpson joke. All right. Okay. Now we're getting into the meat of the material. Anybody in here suffer with IBA? Okay, let me specify that. IBA is internalized anti-blackness. IAB? Yeah. Internalized anti-blackness. Now it's okay if you do, like it's a learning curve, you know what I mean? I just recently found out that I suffer from it myself. And what told me I suffered from it and that I needed help was when I first encountered black squirrels. Right? Like where I'm from, like you don't see black squirrels, you just have squirrels, you know what I mean? Like it's really regular squirrels. But like when I first saw black squirrels, I do like really weird shit. Like if I saw a black squirrel in the street, I would like completely change my route to avoid it. Right? Like I'd cross the street or some shit. Or I'd practice saying things like, no, I don't have any money on me in case the squirrel asks for money. I knew I needed professional help when I saw a black squirrel approach my car and I locked my doors. I thought you guys would like that. They've started working on the exterior of my apartment now, right? Like they're painting and shit, they're painting doors, painting the stairwells, giving everything a fresh coat of paint. And we all know what that means, right? They're about to raise rent, like about $150 a month next year. Which is crazy because they've already increased it $80 without doing anything, just to see if they could. But I'll take it though because it's much better than my last place. Like for example, I have central AC, right? In my previous place, I didn't even have AC, right? I just had 4 fans in my apartment, all being ran by 3 black squirrels on a hamster wheel. All right, I will leave you guys with this beautiful number. So you know how when you lose a limb, you get a little something called like, they say you get a phantom itch? Like you can feel it even though it's not there, right? So I asked a friend of mine who was pregnant whether or not she got any phantom kicks. Right? Turns out that's not the question you ask on the way home from an abortion clinic. And what a way to end. You guys have been fantastic. Give it up for Paul Pepitone.